The sprawling, derelict mansion stood as a relic of forgotten opulence, an ominous structure that seemed frozen in time, its once grand facade now adorned with decay and haunting whispers. With an adventurous spirit, my partner Emily and I ventured into the heart of the decaying mansion, unaware of the chilling mysteries that awaited us. The mansion, nestled amidst overgrown gardens and looming trees, exuded an air of foreboding, an unsettling silence that hung heavy in the air. Undeterred by the eerie ambiance, Emily and I stepped inside, ready to explore the secrets concealed within the decaying walls. As we ventured into the mansion's forsaken halls, shadows danced along the cracked walls, and a haunting stillness pervaded the atmosphere, broken only by the echoes of our cautious footsteps. Despite the mansion's desolation, curiosity fueled our exploration. Each room unveiled remnants of its opulent past, a grand staircase adorned with cobwebs, faded portraits staring from dust-covered walls, and ornate furniture draped in layers of decay. The deeper we delved, the more the mansion seemed to ensnare us, a labyrinth of forgotten memories and unseen forces that seemed to toy with our senses. Strange occurrences heightened our unease. A sudden drop in temperature, eerie whispers that seemed to echo through the deserted halls, and fleeting glimpses of movement in the corners of our eyes. In the heart of the mansion, a foreboding chamber awaited, its entrance shrouded in darkness. Fueled by our adventurous spirits, Emily and I stepped into the cavernous room, a space cloaked in shadow and mystery. A sense of foreboding settled over us, an inexplicable feeling of being watched, a presence that lingered just beyond our perception. The air grew heavy, a tangible weight that seemed to press against our chests, and an uncanny malevolence seemed to lurk in every corner. A cold draft swept through the chamber, chilling us to the bone, and a flicker of movement caught our attention, a fleeting shadow that darted along the walls before vanishing into the darkness. Panic surged as a disquieting realization dawned upon us. The mansion held secrets darker than we could have ever imagined. Gripped by fear, we attempted to retrace our steps, only to find the corridors twisting and distorting, leading us deeper into the mansion's haunting embrace. Time lost its meaning as we wandered, ensnared in the mansion's suffocating grip. Each turn seemed to bring us back to the same haunting chamber, the shadows within seeming to dance with a life of their own. A distant haunting melody echoed through the corridors, its mournful notes carrying an inexplicable sorrow that sent shivers down our spines. In a forgotten room we found her, a spectral figure, ethereal and tragic, her ghostly visage haunting the mansion's depths. Her gaze met ours, a silent plea for release from the mansion's tormented embrace. Driven by terror, we desperately searched for an exit, a door obscured by debris and decay. With trembling hands, we forced it open, sunlight flooding the mansion's forsaken halls. As we stumbled into the blinding daylight, the mansion seemed to fade behind us, its dark presence dissipating with every step. Gasping for breath, we found ourselves outside, the once menacing structure now a distant silhouette against the horizon. The horror of our ordeal lingered, a chilling reminder that some places were better left untouched, and some secrets buried within the depths of forgotten mansions should never be unearthed. As we emerged from the mansion's grasp, a sense of relief washed over us. However, the horrors witnessed within lingered like an ominous shadow in our minds. Emily and I stood outside, our hearts still racing, the distant silhouette of the mansion casting a haunting presence against the horizon. But our respite was fleeting. A haunting melody echoed in the air, its mournful notes drawing us back toward the mansion. Against our better judgment, we turned, compelled by an inexplicable force, and ventured back towards the decaying structure. As we crossed the threshold once more, the mansion seemed different. A malignancy infested its atmosphere, and the corridors warped and twisted, distorting our perception of reality. Fear gripped us, but the eerie melody guided us deeper into the mansion's clutches. In a room veiled in shadows, we found her, the spectral figure we'd encountered before, her ethereal form hauntingly beautiful yet tragic. Her spectral gaze bore into ours, and a mournful sigh escaped her lips, carrying an indescribable sorrow. Driven by empathy, Emily reached out, her hand trembling in uncertainty. In an instant, the mansion's malevolent presence surged, ensnaring us in its grip. Emily's touch seemed to awaken a malevolent force that seized her, pulling her into the spectral figure's embrace. Desperate to free Emily from the entity's grasp, I lunged forward, but an invisible barrier repelled me. The figure's mournful wails filled the chamber, merging with the haunting melody, and Emily's form flickered, fading into the ethereal void. Tears streamed down my face as I watched helplessly, the tragic scene unfolding before me. The mansion resonated with an unearthly energy, its dark secrets swallowing Emily's existence. With a final anguished cry, the spectral figure and Emily vanished into the shadows, leaving me alone in the desolate chamber. The mansion seemed to shudder, its malevolence fading as quickly as it had emerged. Exhausted and broken, I stumbled out of the mansion, the eerie melody echoing hauntingly in the distance. As I emerged into the blinding daylight, the mansion stood silent and still, its foreboding presence fading into obscurity. The tragedy of that day haunted me, an unspeakable loss etched in the depths of the abandoned mansion. The chilling memories lingered, a reminder of the peril that lay hidden within the decaying walls, forever etched into the fabric of my being. The crisp Montana air welcomed us as we embarked on our camping adventure, 4 friends seeking solace amidst nature's embrace. Sarah, Mike, Alex, and I were ecstatic, our laughter filling the air as we pitched our tents in the heart of the wilderness. As evening descended, the forest around us became a symphony of rustling leaves and distant hoots, a soothing melody that lulled us into relaxation. But as the night deepened, an eerie silence settled over the woods, shattering the tranquility. Around the crackling campfire, our chatter waned, replaced by a sense of unease. The woods seemed to hold their breath, waiting. Sarah's cautious gaze flickered toward the dense foliage, her voice faltering as she joked about local legends of creatures roaming the woods. Mike dismissed it as mere folklore, but the unease lingered, gnawing at our minds. The fire offered a dim sanctuary against the encroaching darkness, yet an inexplicable fear lingered at the edges of our consciousness. As the night progressed, an unearthly howl pierced the silence, a chilling cry that froze us in our tracks. Our eyes darted around the campsite, seeking solace in each other's frightened faces. Alex joked nervously, but the unease refused to dissipate. As the fire dwindled, the forest seemed to encroach upon us, its shadows morphing into ominous shapes. The sensation of being watched sent shivers down my spine, and a primal fear rooted itself in my heart. When the snapping of twigs echoed from the tree line, panic surged within us. Mike grabbed a flashlight, attempting to ward off the encroaching darkness. But as the beam pierced the shadows, it revealed nothing but the daunting expanse of the forest. Then a guttural growl reverberated through the trees, a sound that resonated with an unearthly menace. Before we could react, a massive silhouette darted past the trees, disappearing into the depths of the woods. Fear-stricken, we huddled together, our breaths shallow and hearts pounding in terror. The creature's haunting cry echoed in the night, its presence a chilling reminder that we were not alone. Part 2. As the night wore on, our fear subsided, replaced by a desperate hope for the first light of dawn. Sleep evaded us, each rustle of leaves and distant call of wildlife sending tremors of terror through our exhausted bodies. With the faint glimmer of dawn, a semblance of relief washed over us. Yet the forest remained eerily silent, as though holding its breath in anticipation. We agreed to leave at first light, our resolve to flee overpowering the desire to explore the wilderness further. But fate had different plans. An inhuman shriek pierced the dawn, shattering our resolve. Panic seized us as the creature emerged from the trees, a colossal, beastly figure, its form obscured in the shadows. Without hesitation, we sprinted through the woods, the creature's thunderous footsteps echoing behind us. Sarah stumbled, her cry lost amidst the chaos. Mike and I doubled back, desperate to help, but the creature was upon us, its looming presence a terror beyond comprehension. In a frantic bid to distract the creature, Mike hurled rocks and branches, buying us a fleeting moment. With trembling hands, I dragged Sarah to her feet, her eyes filled with terror. We sprinted, the forest a blur around us, our frantic breaths echoing in the chaos. A deafening roar echoed through the woods, followed by Mike's anguished cry, a heart-wrenching sound that pierced the air. I glanced back to see the creature's looming silhouette engulfing him, a sight that haunted my nightmares. Sarah and I stumbled upon a clearing, our bodies drained of strength, our minds consumed by terror. The creature's haunting cries echoed in the distance, a grim reminder of the harrowing ordeal that had unfolded. As daylight flooded the clearing, Sarah and I huddled together, the agony of losing our friends etched in our hearts. The forest stood silent, as though mourning the tragedy that had befallen us. As the morning sun painted the horizon, Sarah and I found a momentary respite in the clearing, our hearts heavy with grief for our lost friends. The forest stood eerily still, a haunting reminder of the terror that lurked within its depths. In the distance, the creature's haunting cries echoed through the trees, a grim testament to the peril that awaited us if we lingered. With trembling hands and terror-stricken eyes, Sarah and I made a pact to flee, to escape the relentless pursuit of the monstrous being that had claimed our friends. We stumbled through the underbrush, our breaths ragged and our minds clouded with fear. The forest seemed endless, its twisted trails leading us in bewildering circles. Our panicked flight was fueled by the desperate hope of finding safety, a sanctuary away from the relentless menace that haunted us. The creature's howls grew closer, a haunting reminder that escape was a fleeting hope. In a frantic bid to evade the pursuing horror, we sought refuge behind a thicket, our hearts pounding in terror. As the creature's looming form emerged from the foliage, Sarah and I cowered in silence, our breaths hitched in fear. Shadows danced around us, the forest enveloping us in a suffocating embrace. I dared not look, but the gut-wrenching sound of Sarah's gasp echoed through the clearing, a heart-rending cry that sent chills down my spine. I clamped my hand over my mouth, stifling my own panic, as I heard the creature's guttural growls drawing closer to our hiding spot. Minutes felt like an eternity as I huddled in silence, Sarah's fate sealed in the creature's grasp. The forest remained ominously still, save for the distant rustling of leaves as the creature prowled the vicinity. When silence finally descended upon the clearing, I remained frozen in terror, paralyzed by the grim reality of our predicament. I dared not move, lest I draw the attention of the unseen predator lurking in the shadows. Hours passed before I mustered the courage to move, my body trembling with each step. The forest seemed to echo with the haunting cries of the creature, a chilling reminder of the peril that had befallen us. As I fled deeper into the woods, Sarah's fate weighed heavy on my heart, a tragic reminder of the monstrous force that lurked within the wilderness. The haunting echoes of the forest whispered tales of tragedy, leaving me to navigate the harrowing expanse alone. The Alaskan wilderness called to me, an untamed expanse promising solitude amidst its breathtaking landscapes. With my rifle slung over my shoulder and adrenaline coursing through my veins, I ventured deep into the heart of the wilderness, eager for a solitary hunting expedition. The crisp air was intoxicating, and the beauty of the snow-laden trees was mesmerizing as I navigated the rugged terrain. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden hue upon the snowy expanse, a picturesque scene that belied the dangers lurking within the wilderness. As evening descended, a haunting silence enveloped the forest. The crunch of my boots against the snow was the only sound that echoed through the vast expanse. Yet an inexplicable sense of being watched sent shivers down my spine, a feeling that gnawed at my mind as I forged deeper into the unknown. In the dwindling light, shadows danced among the trees, playing tricks on my senses. The chilling beauty of the landscape seemed to transform, a foreboding ambiance settling over the once inviting woods. As night cloaked the wilderness, a sense of unease settled within me. The oppressive darkness seemed to conceal unseen terrors. The biting cold pierced through my layers, a reminder of the harsh reality of the Alaskan winter. With the crackling of twigs, an inexplicable fear gripped me, a primal instinct warning of impending danger. My rifle at the ready, I scanned the darkness, my heart pounding in anticipation, but the wilderness remained ominously still, save for the eerie whispers of the icy wind. As I pressed onward, a distant howl echoed through the trees, an otherworldly cry that chilled me to the bone. My instincts screamed at me to turn back, but a determination to bag a prized trophy spurred me on, despite the unsettling feeling that gnawed at my gut. The night wore on, the darkness swallowing the wilderness whole. A distant figure caught my eye, a fleeting glimpse of movement amidst the trees. With bated breath, I trained my rifle in that direction, ready to confront whatever lurked within the shadows. The figure emerged, a massive hulking shape that defied comprehension. Its eyes glowed with an otherworldly intensity, its presence exuding a primal menace that sent tremors down my spine. In a frenzied panic, I fired my rifle, the deafening echo shattering the stillness of the night. The creature let out a haunting cry, a sound that reverberated through the wilderness, chilling me to my core. But my shots seemed futile against this unearthly being. It advanced undeterred by the hail of bullets. With a primal instinct for survival, I fled, my heart pounding in terror. The woods became an inky abyss, my senses heightened by fear and adrenaline. The creature's haunting cries echoed behind me, its monstrous form closing in with every heartbeat. In the darkness, I stumbled upon a dilapidated cabin, an eerie sanctuary in the desolate wilderness. Desperation guided my steps as I sought refuge within its decaying walls, hoping to evade the relentless pursuit of the creature that stalked me. As I barricaded myself inside, the cabin offered a brief respite from the horrors outside. But the haunting echoes of the creature's howls lingered, a grim reminder that my sanctuary was fleeting. In the cold confines of the cabin, I awaited the inevitable, the pounding footsteps of the creature drawing closer, its menacing presence a chilling testament to the unforgiving nature of the Alaskan wilderness.
Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey through the unknown. If you enjoyed this spine-tingling tale, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. Your support fuels our passion to unearth more terrifying stories. Stay tuned for more bone-chilling content, and until next time, may your nights be filled with thrilling nightmares. Subscribe, like, and embrace the darkness with us.